They said she was overrated. They mocked her confidence. But then, in one game, Caitlin Clark silenced every critic with a performance so ruthless, even her haters had to applaud. In this video, we dive deep into the electrifying moment. Caitlin Clark didn't just play basketball, she owned it. The pressure builds, a star under fire. Caitlin Clark entered the 2023 to 2024 season
with the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft. The Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
Well, Caitlin Clark hugging her family, her brothers, Blake and Colin, her father Brent, her mother Ann, and heading to the podium. She is officially a member of the Indiana Fever after has decorated a collegiate career.
With more eyes on her than ever before. She was a scoring machine, regularly torching defenses for 30-plus points and putting up video game stats night after night. But with greatness comes resistance. The louder her highlights became, the louder her critics shouted. Some said she was too flashy. Others questioned her shot selection. Many claimed she relied too much on long-range threes. And some just could not handle a woman dominating the game with the swagger of a seasoned NBA vet. Through it all, Clark stayed locked in. She never clapped back online. She didn't defend herself on interviews. She let her game do the talking. But it all boiled over during March Madness, the rematch everyone wanted, Iowa versus LSU. Then came the Elite Eight, Iowa versus LSU.
We focus on Iowa, we do what Iowa does, and we'll come out on top, and that was kind of Coach Bluter's message. It's not about last year. You worry too much about the past. You know, you're going to get caught up in that. It's about being present, being where your feet are. Don't worry about being in the Final Four, be in this moment, be in the Elite Eight. You know, enjoy that and soak that in, and, you know, that's what's going to allow you to win 40 minutes, and that's exactly what we did. And, you know, I thought we just played a really good basketball game. When they went on their runs, we always had an answer, and that's all you can ask of your team.
A rematch of the 2023 National Championship game. The storyline wrote itself. LSU had won last year. The tension between the two teams was already famous. The internet was foaming at the mouth. Clark, the face of Iowa. Angel Reese, the anchor of LSU. The spotlight was white hot. The pressure, immense. The trash talk, already in full swing on social media. Analysts were split. Would Clark crumble under the weight of expectations, or would she rise? The world tuned in. Millions of viewers, celebrities, journalists, fans, and most importantly, her haters. What they got was the performance of a lifetime. Opening fire, Caitlin Clark's first quarter statement.
Outstanding offensive rebounding team.
Clark connects!
And I think Iowa is okay giving up the mid-range.
Here's Clark driving in for two. Third most amongst active players. Clark, backdoor, Martin, easy two. Game.
She has more size and length.
Clark, you bet! They dump it into O'Grady, spelling Stolke, back to Clark. Clark bounces off, Martin fires, and hits! Huge three there for the freshman Williams. A Folter running the other way.
From the moment the ball tipped off, Caitlin Clark had a fire in her eyes that told you everything you needed to know. This wasn't just another game. This was a mission. Her focus, laser sharp, her demeanor, ice cold. The crowd buzzed in anticipation, but Caitlin silenced it with action. On her very first possession, she pulled up from well beyond the arc, NBA range, and drained the three like it was nothing. The crowd erupted. Commentators leaned forward in disbelief. LSU players exchanged looks, already sensing they were in trouble. But Caitlin wasn't finished. In transition, she whipped a no-look, one-handed pass through traffic to a cutting teammate for an easy bucket. Seconds later, she crossed half court and launched another deep three. Swish! The net barely rippled. Her confidence was terrifying. She wasn't just scoring, she was commanding every inch of the court, orchestrating every play, dictating the tempo. LSU couldn't keep up. By the end of the first quarter, Caitlin had already racked up 15 points and 5 assists. Iowa had control, and LSU looked completely disoriented. Caitlin wasn't here to compete. She was here to dominate, and every hater watching knew it. Breaking the game in the second quarter expanded to 200 words.
An 8-point LSU lead. Clark through traffic finds a Folter. She hit Clark. Catch, fire, and hit. Clark eyes up behind the back through the lane, lays it in. Here's Clark. Clark bounces away, 5 to shoot, shovels back. O'Grady short.
LSU came into the second quarter with a clear adjustment. Stop Caitlin Clark at all costs. They tried everything. Double teams, switching on screens, pressuring her full court. None of it worked. Clark stayed calm. She handled the pressure without rushing. When defenders closed in, she found the open teammate. When they sagged off, she shot with confidence. She nailed 3-pointers from well beyond the arc, showing no hesitation. She attacked the basket when the defense overcommitted, drawing help and dishing out perfect passes. Some of her assists came through tight spaces, hitting cutters in stride or finding shooters in the corners. Her court vision stood out. LSU played hard, but they could not slow her down. By halftime, Clark had 25 points, 7 assists, and a few rebounds. Iowa had stretched their lead to 12 points. The neutral crowd was no longer neutral. Cheers followed every move Clark made. Even fans who came for LSU started to admire the performance. Commentators shifted tone. What started as a competitive game had become a showcase of control. Clark was not forcing anything, but everything flowed through her. She made it look simple, but the second half was still waiting, and Clark was not finished. Third quarter, the silence of her haters. What Clark did in the third quarter wasn't just dominant, it was surgical. She opened with a heat check 3 from the logo. Swish. Then a hard drive, a spin move, and a scoop layup off the glass. Her confidence was visible, but not cocky, just cold, icy cold. She controlled the pace. She made LSU's defense look slow, confused, and completely out of sync. And then, back-to-back step-back jumpers that defied balance and physics. Timeout LSU. The camera zoomed in. Clark looked emotionless, dead serious. This was no longer about winning. It was about making a statement.
Towards LSU, an outstanding offensive rebounding team.
Clark connects.
Need her to feel confident, and I think Iowa is okay giving up the mid-range.
Here's Clark driving in for 2.
Just amongst
Active players. Clark backdoor, Martin, easy 2. Here's national championship game.
she has more size and length.
Clark, you bet.
By the time the third quarter ended, Iowa had blown the game open. Clark had put up 11 straight points in under 5 minutes. No celebration, no trash talk. She just walked back on defense like she had done it 1,000 times, because she had. Final stats, final word. Caitlin Clark ended the game with an incredible stat line. 41 points, 12 assists, 9 rebounds, and 3 steals. She shot over 60% from the field, and each shot felt smooth and controlled. But as impressive as the numbers were, they only told part of the story. What stood out even more was her calm approach. There were no big celebrations or over-the-top reactions, no pointing to the crowd or yelling at the cameras. She was focused and steady from start to finish.
Here's Martin. Clark, again coming off the screens. Clark steps back, fires, you bet!
When you just can't avoid talking about length, hand in her face, drains it anyway.
Meanwhile, restarted 6 of 8, is 0 of 7 since. Remember, she also injured her ankle. Here's Clark. Will she pull up? Finding a Folter who lays it in.
Just manipulates everyone as she comes down the floor. No, she doesn't want to attack the shot blocker. Hesitation and deliver.
Every time LSU tried to adjust, Clark stayed one step ahead. Whether it was a quick pull-up jumper or a no-look pass across the court, she made the right play at the right time. When the final buzzer sounded, she didn't stick around for applause. She walked off quietly as if nothing special had happened. But everyone watching knew otherwise. It wasn't just another great game, it was a statement, loud and clear, even if she never said a single word. Caitlin Clark let her game do the talking, and by the end of the night, there was nothing left to say. Media explosion, from doubt to reverence. The morning after, the media circus turned into a coronation. Every sports outlet ran headlines like, suddenly the same analysts who once called her overrated were speechless. ESPN ran hour-long segments breaking down every play. Former legends of the game applauded her composure and killer instinct. The WNBA buzzed with excitement. NBA players tweeted their admiration. In social media, it couldn't get enough.
Great. If you want to say the GOAT, okay, that's another debate. We'll get to that a little later. But great? She's clearly great. Saying Caitlin Clark's not great is like saying Einstein wasn't smart. I mean, she's that great. All right, I'm proud of that.
Even her harshest critics online had disappeared, or worse, tried to act like they had always believed in her. The game that changed everything, that single game, redefined how people saw Caitlin Clark, not just as a top scorer, not just as a flashy playmaker, but as the total package, a leader, a floor general, a generational player with the ability to elevate her team and dominate the moment when the stakes were highest. Critics could no longer ignore her. Every doubt they had planted had been burned to the ground by the fire of her performance. She didn't argue. She didn't tweet. She didn't gloat. She played, and the basketball world stood up and took notice. Beyond stats, why Clark is a once-in-a-lifetime star. The greatness of Caitlin Clark isn't just in her numbers, it's in how she thinks the game. She studies tape like a pro. Her decision-making is elite. Her vision is world-class. Her ability to control tempo, create space, and manipulate defenders is something even seasoned professionals struggle to master. And then there's the work ethic. Her insane range isn't a gimmick. It's the product of thousands of hours in the gym. Every no-look pass, every deep shot, every clutch moment, none of it is luck. It's built. And her leadership, it's real. Her teammates trust her. Her coaches lean on her. She doesn't shrink from the spotlight. She thrives in it. A cultural icon in the making. More than a basketball player, Caitlin Clark is becoming a cultural icon. She fills arenas everywhere she goes. Little girls wear her jersey. Grown men stay up to watch her highlights. She has made women's basketball must-watch TV.
Making her the first athlete since Michael Jordan to get their own signature basketball from Wilson. She also becomes the first WNBA player to get her own signature basketball from Wilson.
And she has done it without changing who she is. She didn't tone it down. She didn't conform. She brought her whole self to the court, flaws, fire, and all, and proved that greatness doesn't need permission. This wasn't just a great game. It was the moment, the turning point, the performance that turned a college basketball star into a living legend.